It's a new month, so that means it is time for a monthly recommendations video. If you don't know what monthly recommendations is, it is a Goodreads group that was created by Trina from Between Chapters and Kayla Rain, and it's one of my favourite Goodreads groups to be a part of. And yeah, this is October, so the October topic is Monster Mash. So we've got monsters galore back here with all these books. So because, as you may have seen in the thumbnail, there is quite a lot of them, I'm going to get started. Starting with the most obvious ones that I think everyone's just gonna say, just because you need to kind of say them. That is Harry Potter, because wizards and witches, so I'm not going to say anything about it, but Harry Potter is definitely a witches wizards read, because that fits in the topic. And then we have the Mortal Instruments and the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles. These have got demons, angels, Nephilim, warlocks, werewolves, vampires, fae, it's got everything. It is just a monster mash on its own. So, mention the two obvious ones, now let's get to some different ones. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Darkest Powers Trilogy by Kelly Armstrong. This features a girl who can see ghosts and also has a host of other paranormal creatures in it, but Chloe sees these ghosts, the main character, and she ends up getting sent to this asylum kind of place because they think she's insane. So, awesome series. It's a trilogy, very fast paced, fab. Next up, we have another paranormally read, and that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I just finished this, but it features spirits, it features ghosts, and some other paranormal things, and also some demonic-like creatures. It features a girl who has the ability to walk in dreams, and that's very illegal in this society, and she ends up killing these two guys and gets sent to this place where a whole host of stuff happens. So, The Bone Season. Okay, the next one I'm going to feature is kind of a classic in the YA lit, but no one seems to have read it on BookTube, very confusingly, and that is Sabriel by Garth Nix, and indeed the whole Old Kingdom world. This features magical people called Aborson, and this one follows a girl named Sabriel who goes on a quest to try and find her father, who is currently the Aborson. It features magic, it features lots of dead coming back to life, so you get the zombie-like creatures, but yeah, very magical world that no one on BookTube seems to have read, so Sabriel. Next up, we have a mainstay of my recommendations, and I'm gonna do it again. That is the Keys to the Kingdom series. It's about a boy who discovers he's the heir to the universe, but there are so many monsters in this. There's demonic creatures, a lot of magic, and you do have some very, very powerful sorcerers. So, yeah, sorcerers and sorcery all over this book. And this whole series is filled with magic, so monsters in that case, but there is some beasties in here as well. Next up, we have Angels, and for Angels, I say Angel Fall by Susan E. This is about an angel apocalypse, and the main character is trying to survive when she sees this angel kind of fall and get injured, and she kind of decides to help him, and it gets wild and crazy. This trilogy is amazing. This is the Penguin and the End of Days trilogy. So, Angel Fall. Moving on, we have the Half-Lives trilogy by Sally Green. And this is about a boy who is half black witch, half white witch, so guess what, this series has witches in it, and that's not really allowed, and basically the White Witch Council has it out for him, and it goes much wilder from there. The second two books, Half Wild and Half Lost, are stunning. Not such a fan of Half Bad, but if you didn't like Half Bad, you really need to try and read Half Wild, because Half Wild is a masterpiece, and Half Lost made me cry like an actual child. I was sobbing, it was horrific. This series is good. Another one is one this is slightly spoilery, so do be warned, and that is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This has a whole host of beasties in the later books, and fae. It involves a lot of fae actually, but there, like I said, there's a whole manner of creatures and monsters throughout the series, mostly from the second book onwards, so Throne of Glass by Miss Sarah J. Maas. Then we have the Modern Fairy Tales trilogy by Holly Black. Guess what? It's got fairies in it. It's a really, really cool series. Features a main character. This one follows a main character who sees a knight, and he's a fairy, and she gets embroiled in this war between the two fairy courts, and then the they're more of a companion, the first two, and then the third one is a direct sequel to both of them. So, lots of fae, lots of dark fae. It's a very dark series, very gritty, but thoroughly enjoyable. So, Tithe and the entire Modern Fairy Tales trilogy. Then we have The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. This features a brother and a sister who live at the edge of a very dark forest, and in the dark forest there is a boy who lives in a coffin with curly horns, and basically one day he disappears from the coffin and the world turns to crazy. This is a fairy book, obviously. There is actually going to be a series set in the same world, I believe, that's coming out in a few years. So, fae, you want some fairies in this? These are monstrous fairies too. There is a beastie in this, that's a little bit monstrous. A little less elegant fae. So, we have The Darkest Part of the Forest. Next up, we have The Magisterium by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black, featuring mages, so we have the witches and wizards kind of thing. The first book is The Iron Trial. This is the second one because I'm too lazy to get out the Iron Trial. The Iron Trial follows a boy named Cal who has been told his whole life that magic is bad and he should not go to the Magisterium because that's the magical school, but guess what? He gets in. But there is a whole host of other beasties, I keep saying that, but there is loads of other creatures in this because you have chaos ridden, you kind of get zombies, and yeah. Moving on, we have The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. This one has a ghost as one of the main characters, but you don't know he's a ghost for quite a while. This whole series is very paranormal. You get a lot of creepy vibes. There's a lot of dead characters that really shouldn't be in it. There is a demon. There is a whole host of strange manner of creatures that come into play, and the main character's family is psychic. So the only thing you really need to know going into this is that the main character, Blue, was told by all the psychics she's ever met that if she ever kisses her true love, he will die. And yeah, that's where the series picks up. It's a bloody amazing series and everyone should read it. So this one. Moving on, we have the Department 19 series by Will Hill. This features a world where there's vampires. So beasties alert, there's vampires, there's also a Frankenstein's monster, and I think there's a werewolf. I'm not sure, I can't remember now. I've only read the first two books in this series, so take this recommendation with a pinch of salt, because I can't say for certain whether I like the whole series, but I thoroughly enjoyed the first two books. They are action-packed. The main character, his mother gets kidnapped, and basically he gets roped into Department 19, which is a secret department in the government built to deal with the paranormal forces. So we have Department 19. Next up, we have Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This is a change of pace to the others. This isn't really driven by, really dark plot and characters, but this does feature a vampire and a wizard, and this is mostly a love story, to be honest. I mean, there is an overarching plot about the main character. His name is Simon Snow. He is the worst chosen one in history, but that's irrelevant. You don't read it for that. You read it because Simon falls in love with a vampire, and it's adorable. I love this book. So something a bit different, a change of pace to the other books I've recommended. Moving on, we have a couple more recommendations that I'm going to throw in because of the monstrous aspect. We have the Seventh Tower series by Garth Nix. This features a whole host of monsters, like seriously, so many monsters. They are called spirit shadows, and then we have spirits, because we have a whole other world where all of these monsters exist, but the main character is a magician of sorts. He climbs the tower to find a sunstone, because his dad has gone missing with the family sunstone, and he needs a sunstone so he can enter the spirit world. So he falls off the tower. There is 6 books in this series. It's middle grade, it's fab. Let's move on. Okay, I think this is the last one. And another mainstay of monthly recommendations for me is the Saga of Darren, Shan / the Cirque de Freaks series. This is the first book, the Vampire Blood Bind-Up. This includes 3 books. So if you can't guess, this series is got the vamps. It's got the vampires, and it has counterparts to the vampires called vampanese. They're all very beastly. So this features a boy who becomes a vampire to save his best friend's life. And it goes wild from there. There's 12 books in this series. It's very fun. I love it. I think that was enough recommendations for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I shall have another one up soon. So, goodbye.